Hey, Dave in the AM here. Wanted to do a Veteran of the Week. We've been busy and got away from that. And we certainly are going to be doing these weekly again. Uh, and this week, we want to honor someone who's truly a legend. Major General Robert T. Frederick, nicknamed the Last Fighting General by one author. He was his connection to the U.S. Army Special Forces. Article here says he was born to an eye, ear, nose, and throat doctor and nurse in San Francisco, California on 14th of March, 1907. Robert Tryon Frederick was the oldest of two children. In 1921, he began his military career at age 14 as a private in Company I, 159th Infantry, California National Guard, adding 2 years to his age to enable him to enlist. Additional service in the enlisted reserve corps and citizens military training camps and a promotion to corporal followed. In 1924, Frederick graduated from the Staunton Military Academy in Virginia, was accepted as a cadet in the U.S. Military Academy class of 1928. At West Point, he was considered a military ringer, experienced cadet, due to his prior Army service. Frederick graduated from the Military Academy and got married on June 9, 1928, earning a commission as a second lieutenant in the Coast Artillery Corps. CAC. He was thereafter stationed at Fort Winfield Scott, Presidio of San Francisco, California. He began his primary flight school at Brooks Field, San Antonio, Texas in 1930, but did not complete the program. Frederick then served in a variety of CAC troop assignments before duty with the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, in Oregon in 1933. While with the CCC, he won praise for his resourcefulness, and initiative. On July 1st, 1934, Frederick was promoted to first lieutenant and selected as aide de camp for the commanding general, 9th Coast Artillery District, Presidio of San Francisco. Then Captain Frederick graduated from the Coast Artillery School at Fort Monroe, Virginia in 1938 and command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas in 1939. He then served at Fort Shafter, Territory of Hawaii, as a CAC anti-aircraft assignment. In February 1941, Major Frederick authored a 6-page staff study in which he made an ominous prediction of a surprise initial attack by Japan on the ships in Pearl Harbor and aerodromes on Oahu without a declaration of war. In August 1941, he joined the War Department, General Staff in Washington, D.C., and served in the Warplanes Division under Major General Dwight D. Eisenhower just 4 months before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and American entry into World War II. Shortly after his promotion to Lieutenant Colonel February 1st, 1942, Frederick authored a critical 14-page analysis of British eccentric Geoffrey N. Pike's Mystery of the Snows proposal for Operation Plow. In this paper, Pike had advocated using a commando force trained in winter mountain warfare to conduct raids against strategic targets in Nazi Germany, occupied areas in Europe using a specialized tracked vehicle not yet developed. Frederick considered plow operationally unfeasible. In spite of his criticism, Eisenhower viewed him as an authority on winter mountain warfare and hand-selected him to organize, train, and command the combined American-Canadian 1st Special Force Service Force, FSSF. Frederick was promoted to colonel when the FSSF was activated at Fort William Henry Harrison, Montana, on July 9, 1942. Given 6 months to prepare the unit for combat, Frederick wasted no time. He led from the front at every step. He was the first man out of the aircraft door in the unit's initial parachute jump, wearing low-quarter shoes since his jump boots had not yet arrived. Frederick was instrumental in procuring non-standard equipment for the force. This included the lightweight, highly reliable M41 Johnson light machine gun, the Johnny gun, and tracked M29 cargo carrier, Weasel, and the distinctive Case V42 fighting knife, which he developed, designed, and made standard issue for the force. Frederick also championed the wear of crossed arrows, first worn by the U.S. Army Indian Scouts, as a collar device, as well as a unique shoulder sleeve insignia, SSI, a red arrowhead patch with USA and Canada embroidered in white. Both were approved and worn by the force. After months of training, the force was bound for war. It was Colonel Frederick's subsequent command record that later earned him the reputation as an aggressive and inspiring leader. For its first assignment, the FSSF was selected to spearhead the liberation of the Aleutian Islands Operation Cottage, from the Japanese, starting with Kiska on 15th of August 1943. In rubber assault boats, the force fought strong currents and heavy winds to secure the beachhead for the main amphibious landing. Frederick himself paddled 5 hours to get to shore and, like his men, arrived exhausted. Fortunately, Japanese forces had withdrawn before the landing, but this dry run had provided an invaluable learning experience for him and the unit. After Kiska, Colonel Frederick successfully lobbied for the FSSF to have a combat role in Europe. Following additional training, the FSSF deployed to Italy, where the 5th U.S. Army, commanded by Lieutenant General Mark W. Clark, was stymied by the German strong mountain defenses. Arriving in Naples, Italy on 19th of November 1943, the force was tasked to break through the 15th Panzer Grenadier Division defenses on the German winter line. Frederick and a hand-picked team of scouts reconnoitered the approach routes and key terrain objectives with a goal of minimizing casualties and preserving the element of surprise. He then led his soldiers in an overnight assault on the 2nd and 3rd December 1943 that resulted in the successful capture of both Monte La Defensa and nearby Monte La Rementina. Frederick was wounded in action 3 times by January 1944. His leadership in combat also merited promotion to Brigadier General on January 18th. On February the 1st, 1944, the FSFL began their aggressive night patrols outside Anzio, Italy, earning the nickname the Devil's Brigade from the enemy Hermann Göring Panzer Division. The force then spearheaded the drive to Rome in June by securing key bridges for Allied armor advance. During the fighting, Brigadier General Frederick was wounded another 4 times in the neck, arm, and leg. On June 4th, 1944, Rome became the first Axis capital to be liberated by the Allies. By then, Frederick had become a favorite of Lieutenant General Clark, who described him as an outstanding, courageous leader, clearly capable of higher command. Brigadier General Frederick relinquished command of the force on the 23rd of June to head the 1st Allied Airborne Task Force in Operation Dragoon, the Allied invasion of southern France. Promoted to Major General on 1st of August 1944, he soon thereafter parachuted into France. This jump aggravated the unhealed wounds on his right leg and led to the 8th and final award of the Purple Heart. Wow. On December 3rd, 1944, at age 37, Major General Frederick took command of the 45th Infantry Division, Thunderbird, a seasoned division that had been in combat since July 1943 with Operation Husky in Sicily. Despite being one of the youngest division commanders in the U.S. Army, he successfully led the 45th during the Rhineland and Central Europe campaigns. The division helped stop the German Nordwind offensive in January 1945, liberated the Dead Sea North Camp at Dachau, and occupied Munich, Germany, prior to Victory in Europe Day on May 8th, 1945. So then he was at a few other bases and retired from service due to declining health on March 1952 at age 44. So let's honor him today. And this, what an amazing story. And I hope I got all those names right, but we do want to honor him today and honor our veterans as we think of all those that not only are fighting men but lead, and the great leaders they led from the front, right? And so we appreciate him. So let's honor him today and honor all of our soldiers, those that are currently serving, those that have served and may be injured, those that have even died or we've never found their remains. May that work continue. God bless the American soldier, and God bless the United States of America. We salute you. Take care. We'll see you next time on the Veteran of the Week.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seats. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show.